Okay, fine. Let's look at the last part of this session that we started with. We are now looking at the level of seriousness of animal diseases. We say, people, in this case, what we are saying is that some diseases can take a long period to kill the animal, but they can affect the animal and lead to a loss in production. So there are those diseases that can take a long period of time before they kill the animal, and there are those diseases that can quickly kill the animal. And then we also have some diseases whereby you will just see signs or symptoms of that disease. But let's look at them. We have three levels of seriousness of diseases. One, we have a level that we call chronic animal disease. We have peracute animal disease, and we also have acute or acute animal diseases. Please take note of the differences among these three. When we talk about, let me try to have this. When we talk about chronic animal disease, we say this is a long-lasting disease. If we say it's a long-lasting disease, we simply means that it can take a long period of time before it kills the animal. But this disease is not as dangerous as the other diseases. Uzothola ukuthi isilwane siphathwa ile disease le for isikhathi eside silokhu singayibulali singafi leso silwane leso. We call this one a chronic disease. But then we also have a peracute disease. In a peracute disease, people, we say that this animal may be found dead without the animal showing signs of the disease. Isilwane besiphila manje, mangabe besiphila manje uyayivalela esibayeni, mawuthi uyafika ngakusasa isilwane sesishonile. And then you are confused, what is the cause of this? Because asibonisi ma signs. We say that one, it's a peracute disease. Then we have acute, and this one is asymmetric but not compared to the next one. Then we have an acute disease. When we talk about an acute disease, we say this one, the animal may just show severe symptoms. Isilwane sakho si-right, but mawuthi uyafika uyasibheka futhi so sithola sesibonisa ini ama-symptoms. Until all of a sudden there's appearance of what? Of symptoms. And then we call that one acute animal disease. So I want you to understand these diseases nicely, people. Nicely. We say one, we have chronic disease, ithatha isikhathi eside. And if a chronic disease, people, ithatha isikhathi eside, what is happening is that angeke isheshe isibulale isilwane. Sibe ne-peracute izosibulala isona maybe ngaphandle kube sizesibona ama-signs athile, bese siba ne-acute lapho kuvele ini kubonakala ini ama-diseases, kubonakala ini ama-symptoms ngokushesha. Let's try to understand it using this table. Kule table leli we have level of seriousness of diseases. Ngikunike ngathi chronic, peracute. Chronic is peracute, it's acute. Then ngapha ngathi sibheka their seriousness, how serious it is. Sibheka ukuthi ngabe si deadly noma kasikho deadly. Bese sibheka the effect on animal, but most of them they will have a negative impact on the production. Then bese sibheka duration ukuthi le disease ithatha isikhathi esinganani. Let's start with or else we will move or else we move horizontal or vertical, I'm not sure, but we'll see what we can do. Let's start with this one, chronic disease. This is our chronic disease. Chronic disease, people, in terms of seriousness, we say it is mild. Asiyona ingozi ngaleyo ndlela leyo. Then when we look at the effect on production, we say this one will cause a loss of production. So the production will decrease. If you see the we say the production will decrease. Then if you look at it in terms of the duration, they say it is a long period and laphana ngathi mina it could be in months or years. So uyabona ukuthi i-chronic disease ayisheshi isibulala isilwane ne, ilokhu nje is affect for a long period of time, and we say it does not just kill the animal, it is mild. I hope you get this one. Then let's look at the pericute. The pericute, we say yes, it is dangerous but not deadly that much, but what it does, it causes a serious loss in production. It causes a serious loss in production. In terms of the duration, we say this one is an intermediate period. It's an intermediate period. Let's look at the last one, acute. You see how dangerous it is. We say it is deadly. Once an animal is affected by an acute disease, vele siyafa ngaphandle kokumosha isikhathi esithile. Then we say effect, the animal usually dies, as we have said. This one we say it takes a short period of time. Sigula manje isilwane siyashona, asithathi isikhathi eside ukuthi size sive. Sigula manje siyashona ngaleso sikhathi. So make sure that you understand the differences here. Chronic, if you look at it in terms of the duration, chronic, long period of time. Pericute, intermediate. Acute, short. Be able to master these differences. Chronic, thatha isikhathi eside. Pericute, ithi ayibe phakathi nendawo. I-acute, ithi ayibe very short. Then if you look at it in terms of their seriousness, if you focus on the seriousness, we say chronic, it is mild. Then the pericute, it is detrimental. Then the acute, yona iti aibe deadly. So master it in those differences, people. If you can master it in that way, I can guarantee you can come victorious in your exam. You can come victorious. Okay, fine. Let's look at this one. In this case, I showed you the mortality. What is the mortality? The percent of mortality. Is the percent of death. Then because we have mortality and natality. Natality, it's birth. Mortality, it's death. Please make sure that you get it. Then on this side, we have the period, or we can just say the duration. So singayibeka kanjalo, which is the duration. I guess bheke sihlobo sami. La sino A. Uyawubona A? This is our A. If ubheka u-A sihlobo sami, u-A, what they are saying here, maybe let's say here it's 6 months ngamabom, maybe la is 12 months. Yes, lana it will be 1 if ngayibeka kanjalo, ne? But let's not use ama months. Let's just ignore ama months. If ubheka u-A, uyabona u-A ukuthi uthatha isikhathi eside kanganani? Uthatha isikhathi eside kakhulu ubani? U-A. And u-A awusheshi usibulale isilwane. Uyabona ukuthi immortality the percent of mortality ithi ayibe low. So u-A, we say it has a long period. I-duration yakhona ithi ayibe yinde, and it does not quickly kill the animal. So singathi yini-ke sihlobo sami u-A? U-A singabuya sithi it is that disease esithi it takes a long period of time, esithi siyibiza ngani? Nge-chronic disease. Esiyibiza ngani? Nge-chronic disease. Let me just use UC. Let me just use UC. Then we have u-B. If ubheka u-B, u-B uthi awube phakathi nendawo. Uyabona u-B uthi awube phakathi nendawo, and awusheshi usibulala isilwane. And u-B ile disease esithe ithi ayibe njani? Ithi ayibe intermediate. If sithi ayibe intermediate, sitheke yiphi leyo disease leyo? Sathi it's what? It's pericute or peracute. Then bese siba no C. If you look thoroughly ku C, u-C, Can I please erase this part? C, it takes a short period of time. Do you see that one? It takes a short period of time. And we say here, the level, the percentage of mortality. Yabona ukuthi siyafa isilwane la, i-high immortality la, siyafa isilwane ngokushesha, and sithatha ini isikhathi esifushane. So singathi yini-ke sihlobo sami u-C, singathi le disease le in a short period of time esithi yini, it's acute disease. So please make sure that you understand it in that way. We say A, uthatha isikhathi eside, so sithini, it's chronic. U-B, it's intermediate, le thatha isikhathi esiphakathi nendawo, so sithini le, it's peracute. Then bese sithi u-C, wona uyashesha ukubulala isilwane ne, and yes, uyashesha ukubulala isilwane within a short period of time, so sizothi A yini sihlobo sami, is peracute. That is the simplest part of it. And ngicela sihlobo sami we understand the kahle. You watch it several times. Don't just watch it once. You watch it several times. You just put your earphones, listen, and watch. And if there is need, you take a pen, you take a script, you take those summary notes down. Please make sure that you do what we are saying, people. So that was the simplest part of it, and I believe that see Cornelia we understand now. Let me also erase this part. Even here it's fine. Thank you. We will now move on to the next part. Any internal parasite, see then external parasite. Thank you.